I think this is some real talk. I think as women, when you go through a breakup or when you go through anything, like it's very easy to close off your heart and go cold and go kind of like, well, you know, now I'm bulletproof and all that stuff. So we will see what happens. Hey girl. Hey guys, I'm just actually on here today just to be real with you, and that even the best relationships have like really scary patches, and even girls that get treated so well, like even stuff that happens, even people that are really lucky and happy, they still have their own challenges and there's still stuff you have to work through. So yeah. Are you going out? No, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym because that's what I do when I'm all in my feels and I cannot handle anything. Then the way to handle, guys, if you're like so emotional and overwhelmed and you can't handle what's happening in your life, do something for someone else. So that's me on my TikTok, like give back to other people, take the focus off you, get out of your own head. Like we all have struggles, we all have problems. Like go listen to someone else, help someone else, just get outside of yourself for a second. Guys, that's honestly the biggest hack. If you have panic attacks, if you get emotional, just, it's fine. If you can't help yourself, go help someone else. And it really, I think the world would be a much better place if we all did that when we are like struggling with something. Is you just, because the only way to really make yourself feel better is just to, I don't know, like once you remember that everyone else is also dealing with stuff too. Like, oh my god, yesterday I was like sobbing my eyes out for like an hour or something, and then I had a private call with a girl in the group, and like it helped me so much. Like I just like switched off my own stuff, and I just was like there for her, and I was like laughing and giggling, and I just felt so much better by the end. And I really thought about cancelling the call because I was like, I don't know if I can actually do this, but I was so happy that I did it in the end. And I was like, you know what, girl, like there's bigger stuff in this world than just your own wants and needs, you know? So guys, like find something that you care about, find something that matters to you, because it's the only thing that's going to keep you sane. So yeah, I don't know, guys, I do actually talk to you about all my personal stuff a lot, so this one I'm gonna wait to see what happens before I share it with you. But yeah, there's been some crazy stuff happening these last few weeks in my life, just big decisions, big decisions. And I think, girls, also advice I can give you, like the person you think you are at 15 and the person you think you are at 20 and the person you think you are at 25, it's all different people, and the things you think about yourself are probably going to change a lot. So don't get so attached to like, oh, this is the degree I'm doing, this is the person I'm dating, this is the city I live in. Like, don't get so attached to these outside things to give yourself value, because then if you find out that maybe like it's not for you, then you're going to have a huge identity crisis. And this is very much when you live in the ego. Okay, now I'm going to share something super personal with you guys. So I've been doing a master's in computer science engineering for the last couple of years, and literally I know it's a great degree, like I do have the brains for it, I can do it, and like that's why I've done it for so long, is because I am capable, like I could get this degree, I could go work as a software engineer, like I can do it. It's like in my reach, like I have the potential for it, but I hate it. It turns me off, and I've been doing it for like, I don't know, so many years now, and I just decided now that it's actually like finally it's not for me. And thank you, girls, so much for giving me this channel and giving me this platform, because this is like really truly what I'm passionate about and what I'm so good at, like, oh, one thing I can do that nobody else can do is like do this with a man, is my one superpower in life, and I just really want to share that with you guys, and not in a bad way, and like connect with people way. But yeah, when you have arguments with your boyfriends, I really can talk to you guys about this, because you are going to have arguments. Like, I dated a narcissist before, and arguments with a narcissist, you will never win. Like, if you are talking with a narcissist and you guys have been on the phone for like 5+ hours, get off the phone. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, guys, like I have lots of stuff to talk about today. But so any girls, if you are doing something, like, don't do a degree that you hate just because you think it's going to give you job security. I don't care. Go be an interior designer. Go be a makeup artist. Like, go be an actress. I don't care. Do the thing that you love, because guess what? I'm telling you from the other side of, if you stay in the thing that you don't love because you're so afraid of other people judging you for it, then like you're living your life for other people, and you're just going to be so like suffering. Yeah, honestly, I was married to Nog for 9 years. Your channel's like therapy and rehabilitation. Girls, like, I so get it. You know what? I was so in love, I thought I was gonna get married to my narcissist. And it's not like they're all bad, right? Like, no narcissist is a... Girls, sorry. Tell me if the connection is bad. There's construction happening in my area. And they put scaffolding outside and it blocks my Wi-Fi. Okay, so what I'm gonna say to you. If you have been with a narcissist, what you notice is they really break down your self-esteem and they like make you cross your own boundaries in a way you never thought you would. Like they make you apologize for things when you're like, but I didn't do anything wrong. Like, what am I apologizing for? And they threaten you. And I think the biggest difference, how to know if you are in a healthy relationship or an unhealthy one, is the safety of the relationship constantly threatened? No, guys, me and my boyfriend haven't broken up. We haven't broken up. But there's some big stuff happening though. He's not a narcissist. My current boyfriend is not a narcissist at all. I'm talking about my previous one. If the safety of your relationship is constantly being threatened, like he constantly says, if you want to date me, or like, you know, like I expect my girlfriend to behave this way. If he says things like this, that's not normal. People don't say that. And I say this now because I just have had some big arguments with my boyfriend lately, and I see even though we have arguments and things we disagree on, like the way he handles it with me is so mature, and like it's never trying to attack me, or it's really just he's like sharing how he's feeling. And relationship is about compromise and like negotiating things and being open with each other. And it just has been like a masterclass in me on actually how to communicate with someone when stuff is going on, because like I think I communicated like a narcissist before, to be honest, because I only ever had dated a narcissist. And then when it was me that had issues in my current relationship, I'm going to be honest, I was acting like a narcissist when stuff was going wrong, because that's like the only blueprint I had of how people act. And I would be like really extreme and like stuff out of nowhere and like crazy ultimatums and like just like constantly making him feel like he wasn't good enough. And like, no, girls, that's not it. You know what, that's not it. Don't ever make someone feel like they're not good enough. Don't ever make someone like question their worth. Don't ever act like someone's a placeholder. It's disgusting, and I'm like really ashamed that I behaved that way. And like I forgive myself for it because I was young, and I was like, it was like coming from a wounded place of like, I'm never gonna let a man take me for granted. But don't bully the next man just because your previous... Guys, I'm not gonna cry. Yeah. Don't be the abuser in your next relationship just because someone hurt you. Like, you must heal from it, and don't put that on someone else. So, anyways, girls, it's like super emotional life. I don't know, just like love you guys so much. I just feel like you guys are the people I can really talk to. So, so yeah, it's like really important that you do honestly like do the work inside and don't be the toxic one in your next relationship, because it's just not like, it's just not it, you know. It's just not it. And like, I honestly think I was the toxic one in my current relationship. Like last year, I think I was very toxic. And this is also why it's a big part of the reason why I made this channel, because yes, okay, like, hey girls, like, thank you so much. I like love having you guys in the group. Yeah, I'm just sharing some deep stuff with you girls right now. So like, I obviously watched like all this content of like what you deserve in a relationship, and like you should be spoiled, and he should give you an allowance, and he should fly you out and take you shopping, and you should never have to work. Like, I watched all that stuff and I was like, awesome, I'm gonna put this into practice. And this was maybe 2 years ago when I was single, and I went and I dated like a boss babe, you know. Like, I had extremely high standards and they were being met. Like, I was getting offered every single thing I ever wanted in my life was being offered to me by multiple people, and I was like, okay, amazing, this is just normal. And my boyfriend that I then started dating about 2 years ago, he was like very young, you know, like only 26 when we started dating, and already very successful for his age. And he stepped up. Like, he was competing with men 20 years older than him, because he was like, well, this is what it takes to win this girl. Like, I want to be with her, I love her, she's amazing, and this is what it's gonna take. And he took me, like, he flew me all over the world. He gave me a like stupid huge allowance. Like, he gave me so much allowance, like more than people make in a salary, like that much money. And he like did everything for me, and he was like working himself into a burnout because he wanted to get where he needed to be faster, because he's like, she's gonna leave me if I don't get there. And honestly, like, he wasn't wrong to think that way, because I was so detached, like so emotionally detached, that I wasn't recognizing that this is another human being, and like, you get to have standards, but you don't get to make someone else feel less than. You know, like, if someone is not on your level, don't date them. Don't ever date someone and then make them feel like unworthy. And you know what? This is kind of what my ex did to me, where he like dated me and like I constantly felt like I wasn't good enough and all this stuff. And I can just say it now, is that I have grown so much. I'm like so much kinder as a person. And this is just also why, like, guys, at the Feminine Circle, she's on this live, go follow her. She gives really amazing advice. And I think it's so important that you girls like recognize that even though a man does everything for you, it's not like you must just expect it and not be grateful for it. Like, it's huge. It's not normal. It's like, it's huge, and you should appreciate him for it. And don't be upset that he's not buying you a Birkin. Like, he's taking care of you. Like, it's amazing. Don't be greedy with it. Like, don't like start comparing him to people that are 10, 15 years older and like making him feel like he needs to compete with that. It's just not it. And I did that. He booked us to stay in Ibiza for a month. I don't know if you guys know what that costs. It's like, it's a joke. And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, but we're not in a big villa. Like, I am humiliated that I acted that way. And it's more than a year ago now, like a year and a half ago, and I'm not that person anymore. But I just think, girls, like, the aim is not to get the richest man. The aim is not to get like the most luxurious lifestyle. The aim is to be with someone that you really love and respect, and that takes care of you, of course, but not at his own expense, like not at the cost of his own life. And I think he also has learned a lot from it, you know, and I'm like not going to share too much because I respect his privacy, but like, women can be toxic too, and like even great women can be toxic too, and I think I have been toxic, you know, like I think I have been just like way too scary. And I do think, you know, like this is me overcorrecting from having no backbone in my previous relationship to being like way too strong in my current relationship, and honestly like overpowering him. I was like this with my 27-year-old boyfriend because I was comparing him to billionaires. Exactly. Like, that's also why I love your channel so much, guys. Go look at the Feminine Circle. Honestly, you must follow her immediately. Go now. Because I just think, girls, like, just because you can date someone older and just because you have that option, don't make your current boyfriend feel like he's not good enough just because you could be with someone better. Like, yuck. If that's really what you think, go be with that older person. Don't, like, imagine if in 10 years' time or in 20 years' time, he starts comparing you to 18-year-old girls and being like, why don't you look like that? You know, like, this is exactly the same as you comparing him to people that much older. And it's just actually gross, and I just think, I don't want you guys ever to be influenced the wrong way from my channel, because I'm all about a man that respects you and loves you, but don't think dollar amounts. Like, it's not about the dollar amount, it's really about his mindset, and that he's kind to you, and that he cares about you, and that he wants to keep you safe. And like, my boyfriend just wrote me a really beautiful letter just explaining to me like how he's been feeling and how this pressure is affecting him. And the last line of the letter was like, I just want to hold you and keep you safe forever, and just like stuff like that. And that's what you guys should be looking for, you know? So, like, stop. Yeah, like, I think we should all just like Control-Alt-Delete all these like crazy Dubai sugar babies and escorts that we look at and think this is provider treatment. Like, those girls you see with a room full of roses, that's not normal, guys. It's not normal. And I just don't go thinking like, oh, this my man that just got me a cute little bouquet, like, it's not good enough. Like, no. No. So I just have so much to say about that. And you know what, like, I'm also growing and learning more with every year that I get older, and I don't think, like, girls, don't be afraid to, like, go back and reevaluate where your values come from and why you act a certain way. And I think it's very normal. I think it's very, very normal if you have been mistreated, if you have been, like, felt used, that you then are way too harsh in your next relationship, or, like, way too just, like, unreasonable with the men that you are with in your life. So that's, I think, just honestly, yeah, if you guys have any questions, I needed to just get that off my chest, because I have learned a lot, and like, I'll be really upset if I do lose this man because of like, of my own, I don't know, just like me being too self-centered. So yeah. yeah, like, and like we are going through stuff, and like I'm not, you know, like I love him, like I'm not, this ain't going anywhere if it's up to me. But I just really need to, yeah, relationships are huge triggers. Like you are going to learn more about yourself, and honestly also more about the places where you need to improve. Like you are going to learn more about that from a relationship than from anything else. Oh, and I think honestly, like girls, I don't care if you've been through the worst heartbreak of your life and you feel like you can never go through it again. I don't care. You need to put yourself out there, because it's good for you. Like, oh guys, I love you so much. Like it's so good for you. That heartbreak, that like, oh my god, I cannot believe I treated another person this way, or oh my god, I can't believe I allowed someone else to treat me this way. Because I don't think it happens anywhere in your life the same way it happens in your like one-on-one romantic relationship. Like even friendships, I don't think it's on the same level. At least for me, I have no problem like recognizing when I'm being an asshole in a friendship, or recognizing when someone's just not treating me right. It's, yeah guys, because I'm like on the verge of crying, obviously. So that's like the thing. But I think in a romantic relationship, it's so triggering, and it makes you question your own worth all the time, and you're constantly like, girls, like I think if you're in a place of judging this person, like, is he good enough for me? No, don't be in that place. And I think this was something that I did not want to be heartbroken and used, so I was like way too closed up and harsh, and constantly being like, like assessing. And I just think that the mindset that serves you really well dating is not the same attitude and mindset that you have while you're in the relationship. And that's something I'm really going to focus a lot more on now, is like I'm still going to do the single girl content, but I'm really learning a lot about relationships and how to actually be, guys, I have disorganized attachment, and I have ADHD, so yeah, girls, like if you have avoidant attachment or ADHD, just be aware. It's super difficult for your partner, because I have this thing like object permanence, so that when I don't see him, I forget he exists. And I'm like this with everyone. I'm like this with my own family. I'm like this, like with anything. I'm like this with food. Like if I don't see it, I forget it exists. I don't get hungry. But yeah, guys, like I just think so. I do think that relationships are an extremely real thing, and be very careful with the advice you see online and the things you compare your relationship to online, because you don't want to destroy something real in real life because you've been negatively influenced by something online. And I promise you, you would be so much happier with your man if you weren't comparing yourself to, and I'm gonna say it again, like escorts, sugar babies, like Dubai stuff. And you know what, guys, I have some serious tea to spill on this, because I know girls that have like houses bought for them, cars bought for them, like unlimited whatever. I know girls like this, and I know girls, and none of these girls that I know like this are with a man that honestly like really respects them. And I even know, I think you guys probably, and I'm not going to name names with some of these things, but there's a very famous male like money making guru that's very young and successful, and he acts like he's so classy. He's got 7 girlfriends plus, and he has one girlfriend that he's been with for years, since he was a teenager, and he buys her cars and Birkins and stuff, but he's not faithful to her. And his excuse is like, well, like I got the money, and like I'm young and I don't want to have regrets. No, I like when I when I heard that, I was like, wow, like I just lost so much respect for this man. And like just reflecting back with my own boyfriend and the way he treats me, is he is extremely loyal. He is extremely kind, and he takes on all the pressure. Like he takes on all the pressure of like my safety and my responsibility in life. He just, guys, I am passionate about this topic, because I just think, don't throw away a great man because you, oh, hi Lila, hey girl, I honestly just, this was a super deep live. This was a super deep live. Yeah, and I just think girls, like, don't throw away a great man because you are comparing him to something that's not real. And I like, you know what? So thank you girls so much for like giving me a place to share about this stuff, and please learn from my mistakes. And honestly, like, I'm definitely working through it right now, and hopefully it's gonna all be fine, but maybe it won't be, like, and if it's not okay, it's like literally my own fault, for just for like not treating someone else like a human, and not letting them make mistakes, and not just like understanding that, I don't know, I think yeah, I think it's when you know that you have options, like when you know you have options of someone 10 years older, 15 years older that would just do completely everything. And like when you have this in the back of your mind, don't compare your boyfriend to this, because it's just not, I think it's just unkind. I think it's really unkind. Yes, you should cut your partner some slack from time to time. And you know what? Something you should also do is check in with him. Be like, hey, like, are you okay with the pressure I'm putting on you? Are you okay with our relationship? Like, is it okay for you? Like, how are you feeling with it? It's so... I've honestly been studying, like, how to be a better girlfriend, because, you know what? I've been a pretty bad girlfriend, to be honest. And I think it's really easy to get a man, you know? And, like, the whole attitude of, like, intimidating men and making them work for you, this serves you really well when you're dating. It serves you so well when you're dating. But don't bring that energy into your relationship. Please don't bring that energy into your relationship. Like, definitely, like, don't give someone everything after knowing them for 1 month. But the longer you know someone, like, the more you should trust them. And again, girls, like, the more someone has done for you, like, let that count. Let that count. How do we deal with knowing they're not okay but won't open up about it because I don't want to smother him either? This is, I think, it's why it's so hard to talk to guys, because you can ask a man, like, how are you feeling, how are things doing, and he doesn't want to talk about it. And the thing is, it also doesn't make them feel better to talk about it. So don't talk about him from a place of, like, it makes us feel better to talk about things. For men, it doesn't actually make them feel better to talk about stuff. So it's not always good to, like, smother with this stuff, but you still have to check in. And I think instead of doing it in, like, a, you know, like, how are you okay, just say, like, hey, I'm just checking in. Like, is our, like, you know, like, you do so much for me, like, is it okay for you? Is everything in the relationship fine? Like, is the pressure okay? Like, does it feel reasonable? Just ask stuff like that, you know, like, is there anything, like, you really want from me that I'm not doing? Like, how can I be a better girlfriend to you? Ask him things like this. Girls, I'm going to put a lot more relationship content in the group as well now, because, like, I'm really studying it these days. I'm really studying it. And I actually just put one, like, how to get a guy to marry you, which I've been following the course, and I write cheat sheets and summaries, and it's actually quite good to think about. And not like you're so desperate how to get a man to marry you, but, like, how to actually treat someone else well in a relationship. Because I don't think a lot of us are good at that. You know, I think a lot of women, like, sacrifice. We sacrifice, and we, like, because I definitely sacrifice. You know, like, it's not like I do nothing for my boyfriend. I do a lot for him. And yeah, I think we, like, our default is sacrifice and, like, make ourselves small and not be in the way, but not actually, like, ask for the things we really need. And, like, you know, I don't know, like, something I really need is that he takes nice pictures of me, okay? If you take me to a fancy hotel or a fancy dinner, but you don't get a cute picture of me, I am actually going to be a little bit pissed off. Like, I'm not going to have enjoyed the night the same way. And this is just how I am. And, like, it's so stupid, but, like, it means a lot to me. Like, it probably means more to me. It means more to me if you, like, went on the street with me and did a photo shoot of me in my cute outfit than if he took me out to a fancy dinner. Like, it would actually mean more to me that he took cute photos of me. And your boyfriend is never going to know this unless you tell him. Anyways, and I think something else that I really thought a lot about is that, you know, the whole thing about you can judge your relationship with someone by the photos you take of each other. Like, you know, your best friends take the best photos of you, and you know a girl is, like, not insecure and she's just genuinely thinks you're amazing if she takes nice photos of you. And the same in a relationship. Like, if you don't take nice pictures of each other, what are you doing? Like, we all like nice photos of each other. If you are not taking good pictures of the other person, either you're a terrible photographer or the other person feels so uncomfortable posing for you, because you're just too judgmental and too critical. And guys, like, a smoothie shout out. I drink a smoothie this big every day. It's just water and protein powder and fruits and vegetables. That's it. Like, frozen berries, beetroot, carrots, 2 scoops of protein powder and water. And it's like a whole 1.5 liters or something. And it's amazing. So please get that. Okay, I think that was, like, most of my emotional rant just out the way. And yeah, girls, like, I'm going through some stuff in my own relationship right now, and you know what? at the end of the day, like, I I still have the same standards, you know, I still have the same beliefs about relationships, and nothing with that has changed. It's complicated because you have to somewhat attach, but someone attached. Yeah, like men, right? Because if you give yourself 100% too early, then men take you for granted. But if you give them, I guess, you know what, I guess it's a weird thing, because a man is never going to break up with you for being, like, a man is going to break up with you when he gets bored of you, but he's never going to break up with you for being, like, too much. I don't even know how to explain that. Like, he will not break up with you for being too much, because he's going to feel insecure. Like, he's going to be working to match that too much. He will only end it if, like, he breaks. Like, if he reaches a breaking point where he can't do it anymore. And it's going to be so much for his ego to lose you like that. And it's just, I don't know. How do you switch the dynamic back to normal after a period of being insecure and feeling stuck? Oh, such a good question. You know what? That insecure and feeling stuck is a feeling that comes from your own life. It's not a feeling you're getting from the relationship. And if you feel that way in your own life, it is going to come through in your relationships. So here's the thing. If you feel insecure and stuck, it's because you're not happy with something in your life. And I said this at the beginning of the call. Like, if you are living in a city that you don't, like, feel like it works for you, if you are friends with people where you don't feel like you fit in, if you are doing a degree or working a job where it's, like, the smart choice, but you hate it, leave it. Like, leave it. I'm not kidding. Leave it. And you need to be brave. And I also, like, I don't know if I watched or listened to something really amazing yesterday, but it was, like, you need to be brave enough to make these decisions for yourself. Like, you need to trust yourself enough and be brave enough to do the stuff that really scares you, because, like, you don't, at the end of the day, like, you don't want what's safe, because it's gonna be, like, it's not gonna be for you. And yeah, I think you've got nothing to lose. Oh, you obviously have a lot to lose if you forget about this, like, the safe path, but yeah, you just gotta do it, and you just gotta, like, you just have to sit in that extreme discomfort. You have to sit in it, and wow, it makes you grow. It really makes you grow, you know? Like, I would not be the person I am today if I hadn't gone through the stuff that I've gone through, and every single thing that's, like, really humbled me and really made me question who I am and, like what my purpose is and what I'm doing, those are the things that have actually really made me grow. And they've sucked, right? Like, it never feels good to go through some big change like that, or to really like, if you have a moment that makes you question who you are, it sucks. It sucks, and it's painful, and you just want to escape it. And this is when a lot of people, you know, like, start smoking weed or start drinking or start, like, disassociating, start scrolling a lot, because you just don't want to be present in reality, because it's so terrifying to confront the way these things make you feel. And a lot of people just stay in this, like, passive mode of staying in a job they hate, staying in a degree they hate, staying in a relationship they hate, and just, like, not really being present in life. A lot of people get stuck here, and, like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not a bad person if you get stuck here. You're just afraid. Like, you're just afraid, and honestly, the longer you, like, and I'm just telling you the truth, like, I've done this. I have been doing this degree for, 5 years? Almost 6 years. I don't know. I've been studying basically my whole life. And I kept thinking, like, if I just stay with this thing that I hate, it's gonna get better. Like, I just need to stick with it. It's, like, the right thing to do. I should just stick with this. And no, it was the wrong thing to do. Like, it was the wrong thing to do. To just stick with something that you hate. No. And not this nonsense about, like, oh, it's real life, be realistic. Yes, be realistic. Like, people are making so much money doing things that they love. And you know what? Even if you make less money, like, embrace it. I don't care. My boyfriend showed me a really amazing video, and it was just basically this guy saying, okay, you can work your whole life in a job that you hate and make X amount. Or you quit, take the risk, do the thing that you love, and make 20% less, 50% less. But every day, like, you are so full of purpose, you feel so useful, and you feel like you're really doing the thing that you are put on this earth to do. Like, you really feel like you are, you matter, like, you're not replaceable. And I think you need to have that feeling. And that's not me being crazy. Like, some people are phenomenal accountants, phenomenal doctors, like, amazing lawyers, and they should do those things. And some people aren't. Like, some people do accounting or do law or do software engineering like me, because you think, you're like, okay, well, I got the brains for it and it's a good job. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. Like, get out. Yeah. So I'm just sharing this with you guys from the heart. And like, it is super scary. It is super scary. And I think the scary part is just like, what's everyone else gonna think of me? I think that's the scariest part. Like, oh, what's my family gonna think of me? You know, what's everyone else gonna think of me? And who cares? They don't actually care, you know? They don't actually care. And I think the older you get, the more you realize that nobody actually cares. The people that love you are still gonna love you. And the people that are haters, like, let them hate. You know what? Like, they would be hating anyway. I would be hating anyway. And what else can I tell you is that, like, if I look at my parents' generation, what happened to a lot of the men in that generation, which is like I don't know, like, they took on too much pressure of doing stuff they hated. And of my dad's friends, like, almost none of them are healthy and like still there now. Like, one had a stroke, you know, like, one passed away from cancer, from stress. And it's just, girls, like, no, it's just not worth it. Honestly, it's just not worth it. You're not... The thing is, of nobody cares is actually really refreshing. Like, nobody actually cares. And people, honestly, people just want to see you win. You know, people are really inspired. Like, I am very inspired if I spend time with people that are actually doing, like, their life's purpose. I find it so inspiring. And the same, like, when I hang around people that just, like, hate what they do and they're just doing it for the money, or they're just getting through it, it's, like, very depressing. It's very depressing. And you know what? I actually have something else to share with you girls. Is that, like, I have spent a lot of time around people that don't have to work at all because either they have family money or, like, they have boyfriends taking care of them. And you'd be shocked by how, like, these people still have so much internal turmoil and, like, purpose questions and, like, what am I supposed to do? What am I here for? They just have all these other insecurities. So, yeah, so... Thank you guys so much for listening to this today. It's, like, so good for me to come on here and talk to you. It's honestly, it's like therapy. TikTok therapy. TikTok therapy. TikTok therapy. And you know what? I also have to say to you guys, I am an astrology girl. I am. And you know what? This week has been insanely hectic for everybody. So, guys, like, just get through it. It's 5 more days. Just get through it. It will be better. If you are having an existential crisis right now, and if you are having things happening, just, like, embrace it. Like, whatever is coming up for you, it's good that it's coming up. Like, if something is coming up, if you are having really intense feelings about things, like, sit with it, think about it. Like, don't be afraid to question all the decisions you've made. Like, don't be afraid to question it. Doesn't mean you must go in a downward spiral of, like, I suck, I'm a loser, I'm worthless, I've got nothing. Like, don't get into that spiral. Get into the spiral of, like, okay, what actually, like, what makes me feel good? And, like, what do I respect? What do I value? What do I admire in other people? And, like, what do I admire in myself? And, like, what are my qualities that really, like, what are the things about myself that really make me feel good? Like, what's the stuff, if I'm lying in bed thinking, am I a good friend? Am I a good partner? Like, am I going to be a good mother? What stuff comes out for you? And you know what? This was the sentence that made me break up with my narcissist boyfriend. Was, I honestly, like, not like I believed everything he said to me, but I thought it was coming from a good place. And the day I decided to break up with him for good was the day he said to me, you're going to be a bad mother. Because I have such confidence in myself. I'm going to be an amazing mom. I'm going to be the best mom in the world. Like, I'm going to be such a good mom. I'm going to crush that. Like, I'm put on this planet to be a mom. Like, I know that's my destiny. I know it's my destiny. And, you know, like, I'm so excited to be a mom. I cannot wait. And, like, that confidence, that is not going anywhere. Like, no man can ever take that from me, are you going to be a good mom thing. Firstly, I have a little brother that's 10 years younger than me, and I'm a great mom to him, and he's my little brother. Like, he calls me his second mommy. Like, I'm a great mom to him already, and I have been since I was 13 years old, you know? And when he said that to me, I was like, that's it. This person does not see me at all. He doesn't even know me. If he can say this, he doesn't even know a thing about me. Like, it's done, it's over. And we'd been together for 2.5 years at that point. And, like, it was that sentence to me that I was like, okay, this person doesn't see me. Bye-bye. Like, it's gone. It's over. Bye-bye. And you need to have that confidence in yourself. Like, there need to be some things that you just know about yourself so deeply that no one else can ever take it from you. Like, if someone says something to threaten or question those things, no. You're like, you're wrong. Like, you're wrong. You don't know me. You don't see me. No. You need to have those things in yourself. Whew. Okay, girls. Woo. Okay. Yeah. And, like, nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect. If you think you're perfect, no, girl. Like, No, girl. What's Spoiled Girlfriend about? You know what? It's pretty much all the advice that me as a 26-year-old wish I had, like, when I was 20. And it's honestly the advice that I need now. Like, it's the advice that when I write it down, I need that advice too. So it's pretty much like, it's for women, this page. And it's definitely, a lot of it is about relationships and self-worth and like how you show up around other people. Confidence, boundaries, all that stuff. That's really what this page is about. And that's also really what the group is about. So if you guys haven't joined the group, like, it's still on special for the next couple of weeks. And I think I'm like I'm really inspired with the stuff that's been happening in my own life. And yeah, there's just so much to teach and so much to share. And I think it's funny because, like, I think we use our relationships as a very big test of our value. So that's like a big thing that women, honestly, like, I think we judge, and we also like judge other girls by the way their boyfriends treat them and by the way that men treat them. And I think the way you act with men says a lot about your boundaries and confidence. And I actually think it's the easiest place to work on those things first. So if you have a hard time like handling rejection in your career or in your friendships, I think relationships are a really good place to get like rejection exposure therapy, because honestly, firstly, like, it doesn't matter how amazing you are, not everyone is going to like you, and you're going to learn that so quick with dating. Because there's guys you meet that you're like, no. Even if they're great, you're like, not for me. So I honestly think dating and relationships is the best place to build confidence, because you constantly have to just believe in yourself and like believe in your own worth. Because I was a baby and I want to book a call for Sunday. What times? Girl, anytime. Like, there's slots on the calendar. Please book a call with me. I would love to have a chat with you. Please book a call with me, Angel. Please, I would love to chat to you. So, yeah. Guys, you need rejection exposure therapy, honestly. That is just what it is. You need to do things where you're like, oh my god, what are they gonna think of me? I'm such a freak. Like, what am I doing? I'm really putting myself out there. People are really gonna judge me. You need to do that stuff. And you know what? Maybe I should like eat my own words and start posting my face more on the actual account. But I think the reason I don't do it is actually just for privacy, because I really like to be so unfiltered and just like talk from the heart. And I think if it was my personal face all over the whole page, people would find out it's me and my relationship very quickly. And like, of course, you guys on the lives know what I look like, but it's like, you know, it's like a pretty small portion of people that watch the lives compared to like the thousands and thousands that follow the page. So do you encounter problems with people in your live videos? No, never. Almost never. From time to time there's like a man trolling on the page, but like almost never. So yeah. I think my lesson for today is just like, guys, like, be humble. Have high standards, but don't forget that you're always dealing with another person, and like, the pressure you put on someone else, it should not be unreasonable, and it should never suffocate them, and you should never make someone feel like they're not good enough. Don't ever do that. And even if you don't say it, you can say it without saying it. Like, you can make someone feel like they're not good enough without saying it. And what are some things that will make someone feel not good enough? If you never post them, if you're constantly looking around talking about other people, if you like don't make them feel like a priority, that's how you make someone feel not good enough. Like, if you don't, yeah. Oh yeah, guys, like, there are so many ways to make someone feel not good enough, and just don't do it. And like, as women, it's something very powerful that we can do, is to make a man feel small. That's like something women can do really well, is make a man feel small, make a man feel very insignificant. And you know what? I'm saying the skills and the like bitchiness and the attitude you have in the dating phase, that's to keep you safe from the losers. But when you are actually in a relationship with someone, do not keep treating them that way, because it's not it's just not nice. Okay. And again, I say that as someone that probably was too mean and was too harsh. And I just, like, I have been a bit of a bitch in my relationship. Like, I've been a bit entitled. And, like, yeah, I did get... And just, like, you know what, here's the thing, is, like, stuff is not actually going to make you happy because it's not the stuff that you want, you know, like, and girls, this is crazy. I know you think that if someone gave you, like, 5k or 10k or I don't know how much money you think would change your life, like, if someone gave you that much just to spend, sure, you would have fun, like, you get a crazy dopamine rush from the shopping, but afterwards you're going to feel exactly the same. You're actually going to feel a bit empty. You're going to be like, oh, huh, because stuff and luxury is not really, like, it's not anything to aspire to, which is just crazy, by the way, like, haha, easy for you to say, like, but it's true, and, like, of course, you need to have your bills paid, and, like, food to eat, and a place to sleep, like, you need to have the basics covered, otherwise you're never gonna feel okay, but beyond the basics, it's actually crazy that it doesn't make a big impact on your happiness, and I promise you, you will be a lot happier with someone that, like, provides for you, but you don't need someone to, like, provide you with a private jet and a Birkin for them to make you feel loved and safe. And again, like, I think, you know what, this has been really mind-blowing thing for me, is that even being with someone where I knew he took care of all the bills, took care of absolutely everything, I still had this, like, anxiety inside me, like, I still had something, like, feeling really unsafe inside me, because, and this is, like, the hardest pill to swallow, at the end of the day, you need to have your own money, and at the end of the day, you need to have your own passion, and guys, like, it's not like you need your own money because you are so money hungry, but it's just because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, because money is just, like, honestly, money is just, like, a symbol of energy. Money is not anything on its own. It's just, like, a symbol of energy, and if money flows to you easily, and you, like, money flows from you easily, and you have a very good mindset about it, this is you being in abundance. And here's the thing, is, like, if you close yourself off, and you have no interest in giving anything back to the world, okay, you can get money, like, you can take money, but it's not flowing to you easily. And this is the thing, it's like, it's not like you need to be a waitress or a bartender or something just to earn money. Like, no, this is not what I'm saying. You need to have something that you give back, like, write a book, I don't care, be a teacher, be a therapist, I don't care, do whatever you think, like, whatever your special skill is, whatever you do that no one else can do like you, like, this is the thing you should be doing. Like, if you make music, if you, like, whatever it is you do, that's the thing you should be doing. And that's the thing that's actually going to make you happy. And I think, for me, it's been crazy because, like, the thing I'm really good at is men. Like, this is such a weird skill to have, but that's my skill. I can read men, I can, manipulate is not a nice word to use, but, like, if I can make things happen the way I want them to happen, I can get the outcome I desire, like, I'm not harming the other person, but, like, I can influence things to go how I would like them to go with men, and this is my skill. And like, like, that's so weird, but that's such a big reason why I've, like, had the inspiration to make this channel, because I'm like, okay, I'm done, like, I don't need this in my own life, like, I'm in a great relationship with an amazing man, like, I no longer need the skill of, like, being able to, like, attract and like, set boundaries with a new man. Like, I have all this knowledge and this way of doing these things, but I don't need it for myself, so why not come and teach it with other people? How did you realize this is your thing? I think I was born this way. My mom always said to me, like, Rebecca, you do this. And when I was in school, like, they made posters, and they made a poster of me, and they put, like, a leash and stuck 8 boys' heads on the leash, which, again, like, guys, but it's just always been something I've been very good at. And you know what it comes from is just, like, you need to think, like, I am awesome, like, men want to be with me, and you need to learn how to intimidate men if you want them to treat you well. But also why I made this channel is because just because you can do that, don't bully a nice man. Don't now get into a relationship with a great man and keep bullying him and keep, like, pushing him around and stressing him out. No. And men are honestly, like I say this often as well, the only shame men really feel is financial shame. And it's very embarrassing for a man to admit to you that he cannot afford something. Like, it's humiliating. He will not do it. He would rather work himself into a burnout than admit to you that, like, that he can't actually, you know, provide you with something that he said he could. He would rather work himself into a burnout than say to you, like, actually, this is a bit too much for me, you know, like, I'm like need to be investing and focusing on the future and I can't do this right now. He would rather work himself into a burnout. And girls like, no, no. This is a mistake I made. Just because he doesn't say anything to you doesn't mean everything's okay. So please check in with your boyfriends, check in with your husband, okay, check in and say like, hey, how are you handling the pressure? Is everything okay? Like, is there something we need to cut back on? Like, is there something you'd rather be investing money into? Like, let's, you know, like, we're a team. Like, what's important? And is this too much? And don't say like, is it too much in like a way of like, oh, can you not afford it? Because again, this is the way to say it, to trigger him to keep getting the thing that you want. So, and it's not, you know what, like, girls, you know what, I am learning about this more with every day, and I'm gonna keep teaching the things I learn to you. And yeah, like, I'm not married, you know, like, I'm dating, and you know what, like, I have so much to teach you guys. I still have so much to learn, so I'm gonna keep sharing and taking you guys on the journey with me. So how can we ask if everything is okay without sounding insecure about it? That's my fear. Okay, here's the thing, like, you actually need to, and this is the thing, like, a man is strong, right? But he cannot be the strong one all the time. He can be the strong one 80% of the time, you know, or 90% of the time. But from time to time, you need to give him permission, like, to be human and to be vulnerable and not to have everything sorted out. And that's okay. Like, you need to go ahead and just say like, hey, like, I know the world is a crazy place, like, I know there's crazy stuff happening, and I know you probably want to be planning for the future, like, and you can even talk about like, what are your goals, what's the dream, what's the vision, where do you want to go, what matters to you. So I know the way my boyfriend is, he just say yes while everything at work is burning down. Guys, that's exactly how my boyfriend is too. He will never say no to me. He will never say no. He will just like give and give and give until the point where he can't give anymore. And that's just like, I feel so bad that I didn't at any, like, I have checked in, but like, me a year ago versus me now, I'm a lot more in touch with like that he's also a person. So my ex said I'm financially irresponsible, and how would you have afforded all of this without me? Well, you know what, that's so triggering, because I'll just be like, well, I'll just have someone else do it, like, get real. But you can't say that. But like, the thing is, like, this actually, you know what, this is easily this is like what your attitude is inside your head, right? Like, if not you, then someone else. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And you, by the way, you should have a good understanding of what your bare minimum standard is. Like, you need to know what is the bare minimum for you, like what actually matters and what doesn't matter. And you find someone that does the things that actually matter to you. And for me, like, yes, provider, yes, ambitious, but loyal, faithful, kind, like, all this stuff is so important. And also he needs to be, like, I need to like looking at him. Like, I cannot be with someone who's way too old for me and, like, doesn't look after himself. I cannot. I need to be someone that I have fun with. So, okay, what was your question here? But I don't know, if he's your ex and he said you're financially irresponsible and how would you have afforded all of this without me? This irritates me. This, like, honestly, because I'm like, yeah, so what? Like, so what? Like, so what? But yeah, girls, like, we do need to have financial literacy, and I do think we need to have, again, girls, like, have a little side hustle, have a little something of your own, because then if someone says that to you, then you have a great comeback of like, you know, like, I can afford this without you. But I wouldn't say that. When I was going through, like, I actually once, with my current boyfriend, like, we also went through a bit of a rough patch about a year ago, and he said to me, like, I'm the best thing you've got going for you. And that triggered me more than anything in the whole world when he said that to me. And the way I responded was, like, we took a break and I went out on a bunch of dates with billionaires. That was how I responded to that comment. And was that the mature thing to do? No. No, that was not the mature thing to do, but that's how I handled it. I was like, fine, like, you tell me that you are the best thing in my life, I'll show you I can do 10 times better, like, shut up. And no, like, it was immature from both of us, that comment. So, you don't think breaks are bad? Oh, you know what? I think relationships are not so simple, and I do think you can have a break and get back together, but as long as neither of you, like, sleeps with anyone on the break, otherwise it's kind of like a dead end. So, yeah, I think, you know, like, I think sometimes you do have a breaking point in the relationship where things do need to end. And I think it's the reason for the break. Like, if it's because of cheating, then no, I think that's a complete deal breaker, to be honest. But there's many other reasons that you can have a break with someone. And, like, the last time, my boyfriend and I have only ever had one break. And the reason for it, honestly, was, like, trust. Like, I did not trust him, and I was honestly really pissed off with him for a lot of reasons. I just felt, like, very unsafe in the relationship, and looking back, I did really regret it. Taking a break like that, like, I really regretted it, but I do understand why I acted that way. You know, like, I just didn't trust what was happening. And girls, like, I'm also gonna say the way you get into a relationship really matters, because no, guys, me and my boyfriend have not broken up. We have not broken up. I'm just talking to you about this stuff because, like, we are going through some things at the moment. And I just think, like, I often get told by people in real life, like, oh, you have the most perfect relationship. Like, wow, you guys are the cutest couple I've ever seen. Like, you guys are so adorable together. Wow, I love you guys so much. Like, people often say this to me in real life. And, like, yes, even the couples that you think have everything sorted out, I promise you there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Like, don't ever think, even the best relationship with the kindest people where there's, like, where everything is going well, there will still be stuff happening with your relationship. And yeah, I just think, be careful who you tell in your personal life, the stuff that's going on. Like, be very careful who you tell. And don't go talking, like, saying all these bad things about your boyfriend to all your friends and your family, because, and this is, again, like, a big lesson to learn, when if you do get back together, or if things do get together again, everyone is going to look at him differently and treat him differently. Just, like, imagine if you guys broke up and then he said bad things to all his friends, or you guys were having an argument and he said bad things to all his friends. Like, imagine how awkward it would be then for you to go and see them afterwards. And I think, you know what, this is a fine line, right? Because a narcissist will say don't say anything to your family and isolate you, which is a huge red flag. So yeah, guys, like, honestly, if you're going to talk to anyone about your relationship, talk to me. Join my group, talk to me about your relationship. I will be honest with you, and I will, like, honestly, and you can safely share with me, you know, I'll tell you if it's normal or not, and I will really give you that, like, honest feedback in a safe place where it's not going to affect your relationship in a bad way. Because honestly, I think we all really need that. You need someone, sometimes you need someone that can just reality check you without threatening, like, everything, and without, also, you know what's so annoying is if you tell your friends or your family and then they give you bad advice, like, way too extreme advice, like, oh, dump him, he doesn't respect you, like, break up with him. No, your friends and family are always going to be way too extreme and be way too on your side, because they don't know, you know, like, they don't know how you actually are in a relationship. Like, they don't know. So I have so much to say about that. That's so true, and I'm guilty of that whenever my friends tell me their relationship tea. Yeah, me too. Like, I'm honestly, like, pretty bitchy to my sister's boyfriends, because when I know what's going on, I'm, like, actually pretty bitchy. And I'm actually very cold as well to my friends' boyfriends when I know stuff's happening in the relationship. Like, I'm extremely cold. And that's just, you know what, like, I can't help it. Like, if you've hurt someone that I care about, it's impossible for me to be neutral around you. Like, I'm always going to be looking at you like, you know, like, how dare you hurt someone I care about. Yeah. So anyways, guys, like, that was a pretty emotional live today. I will post this one on the group because I think it was a really, really important one, and, like, one of my most vulnerable ones I've ever done talking to you girls about this stuff. But yeah, don't, again, like, just have some faith, have some trust, and be patient. There's no need to make rash decisions with things, and I think don't make decisions in the heat of the moment. Like, let's say, oh, this is good and bad. Are you South African? well, I'm Danish, but I grew up in South Africa. My family lives there. You mentioned you're an astrology girly. Yeah, guys, I am an Aries sun, Leo rising, Cancer moon. So anybody who knows the astrology stuff knows it's just been going down these last few weeks. It's been going down, especially the last week. Oh, this has probably been the hardest. Like, I've wanted to vomit with anxiety and pain. Like, just like from the internal struggles I've been having over the last week. I literally wake up like ready to vomit from stress. Yeah, and that's just how it is. And I actually have learned some good exercises. So, you know, people always say you need to feel an emotion to release it, but feeling an emotion is not just sitting and like, okay, I feel it. Feeling an emotion is like you breathe it in, like, okay, I'm gonna explain and then I'm gonna do it. So basically you like take in a big breath, and girls, like, do this with me. Oh. Okay, anyone watching, do this with me. Oh my god, guys, I'm sorry, my live is oh, TikTok is so glitchy. Oh. I don't know, if you guys can still hear, TikTok is absolutely glitching, so okay, I just have to re-verify that I'm still here. Okay, sorry guys. So, I'm gonna just do you a little walkthrough. So guys, for background, I actually am a yoga teacher. That's like one of my hobbies and a big passion in my life. And I do think, girls, if you haven't tried yoga before, it's always the thing I come back to when I'm going through stuff, because it really does help me process my emotions. And if you guys are watching, this is an exercise I would like you to do with me, just quickly. If you get anxiety, if you get like, for me, whenever I have something, it's like always right here in my stomach. Like, this is the solar plexus. And there's a lot of emotion that sits in your solar plexus. But if you guys feel like here you have your heart chakra and here you have your solar plexus, like I never know what the word, like this is like your power center. And this is your heart. So if you're really feeling scary stuff, it's probably going to be either here or here, normally both. And if you're feeling some kind of anxiety and panic and just like doubt about yourself, or sadness, like when those feelings come up, the instinct is to push it away. Like, you know, like you have like a little base of it, and the instinct is just to push it away straight away. But that's not what I want you to do. Oh, and that's not how you make yourself feel safe. And guys, you need to make yourself feel safe. And this is what you do, is you take a big breath in, and you hold your breath and you tense, like you flex your whole body, clench your jaw, like make yourself rigid. And you say to the world, like, give me all of it. Like, give me all of the anxiety, give me all of the doubts, like whatever that feeling is, say bring me more, welcome more in. And that's how you make your body feel actually safe with the thing that's happening. So you do that, you invite it all in, hold your breath for however long you can hold your breath, and then when you breathe out, you actually release it. And you can do it a few times. Like, I normally do like 3 or 4 times. And it does just really help me, because sometimes it's like, okay, so what? Like, so what if you're not good enough? So what if you get fired? So what if you get dumped? So what if you fail? Like, so what? Once you invite all of it in, and then you can just start from inside being like, you know what? It's safe. If these things happen, I'm still going to be okay. You know, like, if these things happen, like, the world is not going to end. I'm still going to be okay. Your solar plexus is like discipline, self-worth, confidence, power, energy. Like, if you have really low energy, it's often because there's a blockage here. And this is definitely, like, if you feel it's like right here, if you press, it normally hurts and it makes you like feel very anxious if you press here. This is like, my little sister gets really bad panic attacks, and I did this with her the one time where I like made her lie on the ground and I pushed here to like trigger it. And yeah, guys, you do not handle these hectic emotions by suppressing them. You actually have to sit and deal with them and feel them. And always, and I said this at the beginning of the live, the best thing to do if you are feeling like your own life is too much for you to handle, think about someone else. Like, do something for someone else. Do something for someone else. Like, be kind, help, do something that's not for you. And if you know, like if you live in a household of people, sometimes it's easy, you can just go like ask someone like, hey, like do you need help with anything, or like you just go actually like cook dinner for your family, or I don't know, like tutor your little sister. You just do something, yeah, like just go do something for someone else, like, or like go find a cause, something that you care about, like donate to it, or like make a post about it. Do something for something outside of yourself. And like for me, it has been like a complete blessing that I've actually had this group of you guys to work with, because that's honestly what's been getting me through the last like 2 weeks of all these doubts and insecurities and things. Is I just like, whenever it's too much for me, I just go and create something for, like I post something on my TikTok, or I come on live, or I like have a call with someone, and just like, it's not about me, you know, like then it's about what I can give and what I can create. And it really, really helps you. Like, it really helps you. And I think that's the hardest thing about being young. And I think this is like the most difficult thing about being in your 20s or being a teenager, is just you maybe don't have a platform or a place where you can actually do something for someone else yet. And that's what makes everything feel like so doom and gloom, and like, oh my god, like I have no idea who I am, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, like I don't like hanging out with my friends, I don't like drinking, I don't like going out, like I don't know what to do with myself. It's just because you don't have like a channel of where you feel useful and where you feel like you matter. And yeah, like, you know what, money is one thing, and of course like money and stability and stuff matters in your life, but it's not for everyone that your work actually gives you that purpose. And you just need to find something that gives you that purpose. And I talk to so many girls where a lot of you guys actually really want to just do something that helps other people. And I think it's so beautiful, and I think you really should find that thing. I think you should. And like give completely freely, like just give with it. Yeah. And I guess, you know what, it's not like, this is the tricky thing with sometimes your friends and people in real life don't really want your advice, you know, because it feels judgmental and it doesn't really feel safe. So it doesn't have to be a friend that you help, you know, it can be, I don't care, like you can go outside and see an old person and like offer to carry their groceries, or like you can see a homeless person and like buy them something, or you can, I don't care what you do, but just for an hour or for half an hour, step outside of like your own needs and your own fears, and like enter someone else's world and like be there for someone else. Whew, okay. Hey guys, hey, so thank you so much for listening today. That was honestly really a big one. And I think the other stuff to do if you're just having, I don't know, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, is keep eating healthy. Don't forget about your own health, don't neglect yourself. So me, I make a smoothie every morning, and I drink my smoothie every morning. No, I'm not going to judge your German accent at all. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This was... And again, like, it's also a reminder for me that when you go through challenges and when you go through things that really are difficult, I promise you, like, it's so cringe, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And especially what doesn't kill you makes you a better person. Like, it makes you wiser, it makes you kinder, it makes you more human in a really good way. And there's like, you know what, I have no regrets. I have no regrets with my relationships, with the stuff I've done and been through in my life. I have zero regrets, because even the worst things and the worst mistakes really actually shaped me the most. Like, it was my horrible, toxic, awful relationship where I was crying all the time and like really isolated and like lost myself, where I actually ended up finding confidence, and where I really built up who I am, and where I like built boundaries, and where I like honestly learned how to stand up for myself. And if I hadn't been through that, like honestly, hell, if I hadn't been through that, I don't think I would be who I am now. Because guys, like, it's easy to be confident and easy to be like, like it's very easy to be that way when you've never been tested, and life is gonna test you, and don't be afraid when it does. Honestly, don't be afraid when it does. Again, like, the biggest difference from being a child and being a teenager to being an adult is suddenly like shit gets real. I don't know how else I can say that. Like, it gets so scary, and you literally have those moments of like like you have those moments. And more money is not going to solve those moments, and like nicer clothes and being more beautiful is not going to solve those moments for you. And I think, you know what, and this is what I did. Like, I I honestly had a complete dilemma about who I was as a person and like what my purpose was. And instead of figuring that out, I concentrated on my looks. I was like, well, and I just focused on being so hot. Like, I just focused on glowing up, and that's what I focused on. I think for a whole year, I was just like that ended up being my channel. And then a year later, I was like much prettier, but I didn't feel any better. I felt like actually worse. I felt like so empty, and it was such a weird thing. I'm like, why did I feel that way? Like, why did I feel that way? And I think this is the thing, is like we think that outside or external success is really going to change how we feel inside, and it does not go that way. It really, like, you can have everything you ever wanted, but you're not going to feel any different. And you don't believe me, and like, yeah, easy to say, but I promise you it's the truth. I promise you it's the truth, because you can be in a room full of people, and like it can be the people that you always wanted to hang out with, and it can be so exciting and glamorous and beautiful, but you're still gonna feel like, what am I doing? You know, like, you're still gonna have that feeling of like, what am I actually doing? Like, why am I here? You know, like, what's the point? Because what is the point? Like, if you are chasing things, and I think this has again been like a really bad thing about social media. It's like it teaches you to chase all the wrong things, and we focus on all the wrong things. And like, yes, your success matters, and like, yes, we all like nice things, and like, yes, it's nice to look good, and like, it matters and it does make you feel good, but it's not the point of your life. And I think again, like, this is something else I've learned recently, is that like the purpose of your life is not just to focus so much on like being the perfect person and like making all the right choices and like having the right job and having the right partner and like doing everything properly. That's not the point of your life. And if you put all that pressure on yourself to be so perfect, it's just gonna suffocate you, and you kind of, no one is gonna love you for it, by the way. Like, you don't get a prize for being perfect. Nobody cares if you're perfect. And me, I'm a recovering perfectionist. Like, nobody actually cares if you're perfect. Like, nobody cares. They're not gonna love you for it. They might respect you for it, but like, at the end of the day, they don't really care. And what people are gonna love you for, and what you're gonna love yourself for, is actually being human and just being kind, and like really being able to, you know, like, after someone talks to you or someone spends time with you, they feel better. After let's say you have a friendship with someone and you, like, the friendship ends, but you left them with something more than what they had before. So again, like, you know what, friendships come and go, relationships come and go, like, everything in life comes and goes, but I think if you only give something to someone when you know it's forever, and like, you are always holding back, like, really, if you're always holding back something of yourself because you're like, oh, well, it's not forever, you just lose at the end of the day, because like, it's not only for them, it's like really for you. And when you do things that are generous and kind, like, you are the one that benefits the most. Like, yes, you help the other person, but like, you are the one that benefits the most. It's like your soul, it's your soul that you're feeding. And yeah, I think again, like, a lot of us understand, and I think, you know what, I think this is what a lot of women really have this like urge and desire to get married and settle down and be a mom, because I think we know that this is where we can just like let this flow, this like being selfless and giving and like building someone else up. And you don't have to wait until you're a mom to act that way, you know, like, you don't have to wait until you're married to someone to act that way. You can like believe in someone and support them and be there for them, like, now. You can act that way with your friends, you can act that way with your own parents, you can act that way, you know. With yourself, you should act that way. Oh, and I saw another quote that I really, really loved, which was, you should be the person that you wish you had. So if you're going through stuff, be the person that you wish you had. And that honestly has helped me so much with kind of some of the stuff I've been through. And like, it also makes me grateful. So like, the fact that I dated such, honestly, I'm gonna say it again, like, such an awful narcissist that literally crushed my confidence, like, bullied me, made me cry, treated me not nice, you know, like, he was still generous, but he did not treat me nicely at all. Like, the fact that I went through that now means I'm like, I can help any girl that's been in that situation. Like, I know how to guide her through it. And like, I had a friend that was really in a toxic relationship this year, and I literally was like, and we weren't even friends. Like, it was honestly, like, we weren't even friends. It was my first time actually hanging out with her one-on-one. Like, we'd met a few times, but it was our first time hanging out one-on-one. And we went out together and we were having some drinks and talking. And I started noticing how her boyfriend was texting her, and I was like, what is going on? This is not normal. And then she started talking to me about what was happening, and I was like, girl, like, this is not normal. Like, this is not okay that he makes you feel this way or talks to you like this. Like, what the hell is this? This is insane manipulation. Like, are you okay? And she was not okay. She was like, you know, like really doubting herself, like crying, so upset. And by the way, she's saying this to me. She barely knew me at that point. Like, I was almost a complete stranger, and she just was like, felt so unsafe. And I said to her, I was like, hey girl, like, look, if you need a place to stay, come stay with me. Like, come stay with me for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. Come stay with me. We have a spare room. Like, if the reason you're not leaving this relationship is because you have nowhere to go, like, leave, come stay with us. Like, you can figure it out from there. And honestly, like, I didn't even know her that well when I did that. And like, and again, like, yeah, fine, it was a bit risky from me to invite kind of a stranger into the house, but I was so happy I did it. And she's one of my, like, best friends now. Because I was there for her in that period of her life. Okay, could you give examples of what he did, how you realized he was toxic? Okay, so someone that's toxic with you is going to, firstly, they're going to shame you for things that you should not be shamed for. So they're going to make you feel shame for things where you're like, huh? You know? So someone that's constantly, like, making judgments about your character, or, like, saying you have bad values, or, like, you know, making comments about your family, stuff like that, this is not normal. Someone that tries to isolate you from all your friends and, like, is, like, very critical of your friends, and it's like, well, you shouldn't be hanging out with those people, you know? Again, question this person. Someone that honestly, like, doesn't listen to you or talk to you or like to spend time with you. So a lot of men don't like their girlfriends. Like, I don't know how. Men don't always date women because they love them. Men date women because, like, they need physical intimacy and it makes them look good, and it's good for them in the business world. Like, it makes them more respectable to be in a relationship. Shira once said that unconditional maternal love is for your children and female friendships. You know what? I actually regret listening to this advice, because I think I've held back on a lot of love in my current relationship because, like, I didn't want to give that unconditional love, and I regret it. You know what? Like, I don't think you lose anything. Like, fine, give your heart to the wrong person, whatever. You don't lose anything at the end. Like, you lose nothing. I gave unconditional love to a narcissist, and I didn't lose anything from it. Like, actually, by the end of the relationship, I was like, wow, I feel so proud of myself that I could be so loyal and kind and forgiving to someone that, even though they didn't deserve it, like, I'm proud of myself that I was able to be there for someone else like that. And you know what? I'm gonna forget that rule. Like, from now on, in my relationships with men, I'm gonna be giving them, like, unconditional love and support. Not for nothing. But no, like, I followed that advice and I regret it, because you know what, all that ends up happening is the other person feels like not good enough, unworthy, intimidated by you all the time, like a bit afraid of you all the time, and very unsafe in the relationship. That's how you make the other person feel if you don't give them unconditional love. So I don't care, give it to your boyfriend, like, especially if you've been together for a long time, give it to him. Give it to him, and guess what, like, you take it back. If you discover he's not the person who you thought he was, take it back. From now on, I'm gonna be a lot more generous with my own love in my relationship, just because I have had this thing of, like, holding back, and honestly, I've had this thing of, like, you know what, until he proposes, like, I'm not even committed. Like, until he proposes, like, I'm not even invested in the relationship. And I take that back, because all that happens is you just, like, you keep someone at arm's distance like this, and they deep down, they feel unworthy. And I'm not gonna do that to someone anymore. I'm done with that. I'm actually done with that. So again, this is why I say, like, be careful of some of the advice you follow online, because I know all this golden retriever black cat stuff, but I honestly think it's nonsense. Like, I think if you're with the wrong man, it doesn't matter how you act, he's never going to respect you. And if you are with the right man, and, like, it doesn't mean he's perfect, but if you're with a man that has shown you consistently again and again and again that he is going to do as much for you as he can, he is there for you, he believes in you, like, he loves you, he is loyal to you, then I think you should give it to him. Yeah, I think unconditional love is just, like, you act like you're going to be with someone for long. Like, you are going to be, like, you act like you're in it for the long run. I think that's unconditional love to me. It's like, you're not thinking like, oh, well, this is just temporary, so I'm not going to really invest that much in it. Like, for me, that's unconditional love, is you treat like, you give everything that they want, with love. Like, you give them, like, belief and trust. And again, this is the thing, is like, I have been too harsh. If I've seen something I didn't like in a relationship, because I was dated a narcissist before, now I'm dating someone actually not a narcissist at all. Like, I have been the narcissist in this relationship, to be fully honest. Like, I have been the one that's been unkind and demanding and like selfish. Like, that's been me, and I can say that now because like I did act that way, and like I wasn't being mean to him or anything, but it was just like something unspoken, something that he could just sense, something that he could just feel, that like I never thought he was really good enough. Like, he could just feel something like that. And that's just disgusting that I made someone feel that way, because he is good enough. He does everything for me. He's amazing. Like, he is incredible. And like, no. I'm like, I just think, guys, honestly, like, I don't believe in this black cat thing. I think, have your own, like, you mustn't throw away yourself for a man. Like, you don't lose yourself. You don't forget about your own interests. You don't lose your own life. This is the big thing about being like black cat versus golden retriever. Like, you can love someone completely and believe in them completely, but don't now like forget all about yourself, and like you stop doing the things that fill up your own cup, and you stop, like, you just, yeah. OMG, wow, I relate so much that I think I def was too harsh in the beginning to my BF. Guys, I think we all have been. I honestly think, and like, I'm going to be posting a lot more relationship content in the group and a lot more relationship content on TikTok, just because I think the way that you act as a single girl is not the way you act when you're in a relationship. And guys, like, and I think it's us girls that have really high standards. Like, I think it's honestly because like the men let us act that way, and I think we end up being the toxic ones, because we're like, yeah, well, and I think the thing is, like, inside you're a good person, so it doesn't cross your mind that the things you're doing are toxic, and that the things you're doing is like maybe breaking down someone else's self-esteem. Like, it doesn't cross your mind, because you're like, well, he's older than me, he's richer than me, like, how could I ever make him feel that way, like, what the hell. Exactly, because like the way you act, like, you are testing him before you're in a relationship. He is competing with other men. Like, he is proving to you constantly that he's good enough. But in the actual relationship, no, you do not make him compete with everyone. You do not keep treating him like he's gonna lose you if he slips up. You don't keep treating him that way, because if he slips up, he's not gonna lose you. And this is again something I did wrong. Like, at the first mistake, I'm like, I don't trust you anymore. No. That's not it. If someone makes a mistake in a relationship, you make them feel safe. You say like, look, I love you. I care about you. I love you so much. Like, this thing that's happening in our relationship is making me feel unsafe. And if it continues this way, I can't stay in the relationship. But I don't want to lose you. And I love you so much. So please, can we work on this thing? So I feel like I'm gonna lose him if I'm not the same as what I was when we met, though. Girls, like, so understandable. Like, you think you need to keep him on his toes to keep him interested in you, and you do need to keep him on his toes, but the way you keep him on his toes is not by making him compete. It's by having stuff in your life that is so interesting and so exciting outside of the relationship. So the way you keep him on his toes when you're together is like, you don't say like, oh, like, all these guys are DMing me and like all these guys are hitting on me. You don't say that. And I know it's happening. Like, you don't say that. I don't care. If you go out somewhere and you notice everyone's looking at you, like, you ignore them, okay? You are with your boyfriend. Like, if you are in a group of people, you look at your boyfriend, you make him look good, you talk him up, like, you make space for him to speak, you make him look good, okay? And in the relationship, if you're worried about him getting bored of you and you feel like you need to keep him on his toes, you don't do that by like hinting or by like acting like you're not invested in the relationship. You are invested in the relationship. If you're not invested, don't be there, okay? But the way you do that is like, you have a hobby, you have a passion, you have a project, you have something else that is like your thing. You have something else that's your thing, that you do, that you work on, and that's the thing that he competes with. Like, that's what your time, that's what he's competing with, like, for your time and for your energy, is you love him so much, but you also love this other thing so much. And like, being with him is amazing, but working on your project, working on yourself, like, that is also really important for you. And that's what your focus has got to be. Not like make him compete with all these other men. The focus is like, you have something that, like, something in your life that's your purpose, like, that's your thing that you do, and that's what he competes with. So That's what he competes with. And he's gonna love you and respect you and like admire you so much for that. And girls, like, again, like, it doesn't have to be the craziest, like, it doesn't have to be something that makes a lot of money. Like, it really doesn't matter. It just has to be something that you really care about. And that's why working a job you hate, doing a degree you hate, like, that stuff is not the thing, because he's deep down gonna know that you just want to quit that thing. Like, you don't care about that thing. It needs to be something that you really value and that matters to you. So for me, honestly, it's become this TikTok channel and my group that I run. Like, that's the thing that he competes with, because I'm like, wow, this matters so much to me. It really fulfills me. It really gives me purpose. Like, the other thing, I actually am like in the process of deciding if I should quit my degree, even though I'm like right at the end, just because I hate it and it feels completely meaningless to me. And like, yeah, and it can be, honestly, it doesn't matter if other people think it's silly, if other people think it's stupid, as long as it actually matters to you. I feel like he's so far ahead of me, but then again, I'm not trying to compete with him. Again, like, he really doesn't care. Like, he really doesn't care. I promise you, as long as it's something that you care about. And that's why this thing of like, oh, like, start a hobby. Don't start a hobby to tell other people it's your hobby. Don't start a hobby so that you can say to people, oh, I'm doing this. Like, don't do it for that. You do it because it actually fills up your cup and it actually matters to you. So... my boyfriend said he would invest in any business or side hustle I make. Do you have any recommendations? Thank you. Ooh, okay. So you know what? You must think about like the issues and problems in your own life that you would like to have solved. And I think the default for a lot of girls is to start like some kind of fashion brand or like clothing brand or something like that. And if that's something you're passionate about, go for it. For a lot of other people, it's like e-commerce stuff, right? So it doesn't actually have to be... I don't know, it really depends, like, what do you care about, what do you like, what are you good at? And, yeah. But I love that, I absolutely love that for you. And, like, take him up on the offer. Because that's, you know what, if I, like, things I would start. I'd probably open a Pilates studio and get a Pilates teacher training. This is something I would love. This is still one of my dreams. I'm hopefully going to do it next year. Honestly, depending on what happens with these, like, this month of my life is really going to depend on what I do next year. But we will see. So honestly, I would, if there's something that you really love, then that's the thing. But don't, again, like, just because a side hustle or business was successful for someone else doesn't mean it'll be successful for you. So don't go money first, go, like, purpose first. Go, what thing could I be working on that I want to be working on? Like, what problem am I solving that I know I can solve? Like, what thing am I contributing to the world that I know I can do? I'm a Pilates instructor, so rewarding, but choose a great school for education. Oh, please share. What schools are the best for Pilates instruction? Like, what? Yeah, please share. What do you think about push and pull relationships? I think there must be some push and pull in the relationship. So, yeah. Okay, girls, this has been such an absolutely insane live. I have some other things to do and some other stuff I need to be working on today. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Start Pilates. Okay, I'm actually going to screenshot that quick. Thank you so much. Yes, I do believe in second chances, but it really depends on the person and on the reason. So there are some things, guys, I love you so much too. Thank you really for watching today. I'll put the full recording of this live on the group, actually, as soon as I get off. And I'm going to tell everyone in the group to watch this one, because I think there's really things to learn. And a lot of the advice that you see online, like, don't just be greedy, don't just try and get as much as you can get out of someone, because it's honestly, at the end of the day, it's not kind. And like, I think it's such a difficult thing to balance. If you have a good heart, but you've been hurt and you've been used, then be careful, because you might end up being the narcissist in your next relationship. And there's another quote I saw that I loved, which is like, if you grew up with an angry man in the house, there's always going to be an angry man in your house. And if it's not the person, it's probably you. So, like, this is something I've really, like, it really honestly hit me, because I thought I was, yeah, there's, like, some things that I realize I've been unfair with. And, like, you know what, no one owes you anything. You're not entitled to anything. Like, if people give things to you, be grateful, appreciate them. And again, like, the most important thing I'm going to say to you is, if you truly don't feel like someone's good enough for you, don't be with them. Like, if you truly don't want to be friends with someone, don't be friends with them. If you truly hate something, like, if you truly hate your job, if you hate your degree, like, you are not a victim. You are not stuck in anything you don't want to be in. Be grateful and accept it, or change it. Like, don't stay in things where you're like, it's not for me, nah. Like, get out of that energy, get out of it, because you know what? You're doing it to yourself. And again, last thing about relationships is, like, if you are making someone feel, and girls, all of you girls with high standards, because I know you do this, because I do this, which is you just are constantly assessing and detaching. Like, every time you see something you don't like, you just have a little, I don't trust. Don't do this. Really don't do this, because honestly, this person has probably already shown you that, like, he cares about you and he wants to be there for you, and he is going to do anything you want. Like, I promise you, he's already done this for you. And if you are not appreciating it and, like, giving him the validation from doing it, you are the one being toxic. Like, you are the one breaking down his self-esteem and honestly bullying him. And this is from me, because I did definitely bully my boyfriend last year, like, into a burnout, and I was completely out of touch. I thought it was fine. I thought he was all fine. And, like, it's not like it was completely my fault. Like, I think, be aware that men also have egos, and they are trying to impress you. And especially if they can see you have options, like, they want to impress you. But don't, you know what, like, again, just because you can get it doesn't mean you should ask for it. Like, just because he will do it for you, just, you know, be a bit humble with the things that you ask for and the things that you need. And, like, again, is it because you want it, or is it because, like, you think it's what you need to get? This is, like, a really, just wrap your head around this one. Are you asking for something truly because it matters to you, or because you're like, well, I'm a high value woman, and, like, if he doesn't do this for me, then he doesn't love me, and I need this proof that he cares about me? It's two different things. So the one is, like, the stuff that you actually care about, and the other one is the stuff that you are being greedy with, and it doesn't actually matter to you. It matters more for your ego than for your heart. So, no, girls, like, I don't think you should push someone to their limits. I don't think you should. I think the best way, honestly, the best thing you can do right now in your relationship is just, especially if you're with a provider, say to him, like, hey, you do so much for me, like, you're so generous in this relationship, like, I really appreciate everything you do. Is it okay? You know, like, is it, like, does it feel reasonable for you? Is the pressure okay? Do you feel like, is there anything that I can change, or is there anything in the relationship that we can change to take some of the pressure off you? I think you should say this to him. Honestly, I think you should say this to him. Yeah, girls, I'm gonna put a lot more relationship stuff in the group now, because I just think it matters, and I'm gonna post a lot more on my page too, because I feel like step one, like, phase one, is building up your own confidence and setting boundaries and, like, becoming a woman that feels like she can ask for the things that she wants confidently. But then once you get that, I think then there is a whole lesson in humility and, like, kindness and respect for another person that you're dating, and, you know, like, how to not abuse people, but how to, like, okay, but if we ask and then they say everything is good but it's not gut feeling, then what? You keep asking. You keep saying, well, you know what, like, you could just keep asking. You say, like, yeah. You keep asking. And the thing is, don't say it like, can you afford this? Because, again, super triggering. Of course he's going to say, yes, I can. You know, he's never going to say, no, I can't. He's never going to say that. He's going to go all quiet and not want to talk about it. So you just say to him, like, you know what? We are obviously, like, planning long term and, like, thinking about the future as well. So, maybe not phrase it like that. okay, I'm gonna have a think and do some research and put some more questions and things in the group for you guys. Yeah, how to not be abusive, you know? Because, guys, women can be abusive, and I think we can be abusive in a very different way from men. And, like, of course, a man can bully you and break down your self-esteem, but we can do that to men too, you know? We can do that to men too. We can really make them feel small. And it's crazy, like, it is power, you know? And I think some of the stuff I've been through, I'm like, okay, I am, on the one hand, I'm like, wow, like, you're kind of badass, girl, that you can do that. Like, that's kind of badass. That's kind of badass that, like, someone that's so much more successful and better than you in every way, like, that you can make them feel insecure. Like, that's kind of badass, you know? Like, at least you got confidence. Like, at least you got confidence, girl. Like, at least you got confidence. At least you know your worth. Like, that's on the one hand. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, you also need to recognize the other person's feeling and, like, also see their worth and be kind and, you know what, like, again, just, like, be grateful. Like, just be grateful. So, you should make a YouTube channel. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. What's the difference between bullying and wanting consistency? Great question, because I honestly think you don't realize you're bullying someone. And I never thought I was bullying. Like, I never thought I was bullying. I thought I was just, like, being direct. I never thought I was bullying. But I think the bullying is when you subconsciously are comparing them to other people. That's, I think, when it becomes bullying. When you're not saying, like, okay, he has a track record of, like, being loyal and faithful and taking great care of me. Like, the bullying is when you, at the back of your mind, you're like, but that guy got that for his girlfriend, or like, they're staying in that hotel, like, I think that's when it's actually low-key bullying, is when you are, like, you are grateful, but he can feel that you don't really think it's good enough. I think that's when it's bullying, is when someone gives you something, and you, at the back of your mind, there's, like, something in you that's like, oh, I think that's when it's bullying. So I just realized I may have been bullying my BF. Yeah, girls, like, I think a lot of us have probably been bullying our boyfriends. Because there's so much content for single girls, and that attitude and mindset that serves you so well getting into the relationship. And, like, it's the reason this man even treats you so well. Like, it's very hard to understand that you don't need to be that strong. Like, you don't need to be that hard. You don't need to be that cold as you were when you were single. So he has ADHD, and we talked about consistency, and he said he's not stable in that aspect. Ooh, you know what? If you are with someone that has ADHD, please go learn about it. I have ADHD, and it does actually, it makes you feel a lot of guilt and shame, especially with consistency, and, like, there's just things that ADHD people struggle with. So, yeah, and, like, ADHD people don't really like deadlines, and they feel, like, extremely suffocated by stuff like scheduled calls and things like that. So, okay, girls, let's see. That sounds more like insecurities. Would bullying be enacting behavior on that? Oh, no, but I think that's actually bullying, you know, like, when someone does so much for you and you deep down are like, thanks, but I could get, you know, like, I could do better. I think that's bullying. And even if you say, wow, thank you, this is so amazing, if there's a part of you that's thinking, like, maybe I could do better, I think that's disgusting, and you must stamp that out of you. Because if you truly believe that you could do better and you truly want whatever you think better is, go take it. Like, and I say the same thing to men. Like, if you're in a relationship with a girl and you're like, I could do better, go do better. Like, go do better. You should only be with someone when you're like, wow, this person's amazing, they are better than anyone else. Like, ugh. The scheduled group calls also stressful for you? A little bit, actually, a little bit. I really like the one-on-ones. Those don't feel stressful, but sometimes the group ones, I'm like, oh no. It's also why I do my lives, like, not on. Oh, okay, girls. Do you believe in having a good relationship even if he has bipolar disorder? I have no experience on this one. I think that's super difficult to deal with, but I think it's possible, so. Oh, wow, guys, yeah, like, again, so grateful to this universe for all the lessons all the things I go through, all the things I've learned, and again, it sucks, but, like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and, like, even if you break down and cry, and you feel like everything is too much, and you just can't handle it anymore, I promise you will be okay. oh, you will be okay, and like things will get better and things are gonna make sense, you know. Sometimes you just have to have a bit of an ego death, and I think a lot of the time, no, Twana, we have a call today. Do we have a call today? No, I'm excited, guys. Like, I'm excited. I like love my one-on-one calls with you. Like, please don't, please don't. Please don't. So guys, I just feel like, yeah, if you feel like things are really being like, it's just crazy, just slow down and just breathe and do meditation, work out, eat healthy. Like, I don't care. Go outside. Go outside is a really big one. Like, just go outside. Okay, our call's on Saturday, stunning. Oh, guys, yeah. I'm obviously gonna keep you. Okay, the guy I'm dating leans more sexual minded. Should I be concerned, or is this acceptable range? You know what, Rebecca, it really depends. It really depends. So the thing is, like, if that means he's like very like adventurous and he wants things that you aren't normally okay with in a relationship, he's very faithful and committed. Okay, he just has like a very high sex drive. I think that's fine. I think that's totally fine. It's actually a great sign. He's probably got a lot of testosterone, so I think that's fine. Like, if it's like once a day, you know, that's actually like so fine. I wouldn't even be worried about it. And maybe he's just really into you, especially if it's the beginning of the relationship and he's just like really into you. Guys, like, foundation for a healthy relationship with a man is good physical intimacy. And like, if you are having issues there, if you feel disconnected, if like your sex life is not good, fix it, because this is the number one problem with, like, if this goes wrong, everything else in your relationship is just going to start spiraling. How do we sign up for a one-on-one call? Guys, you can go join the group. You can go join the group. The link is in my bio, and then once your free trial is over, you can book a free call with me. Guys, thank you so much. So I think here's the thing: is like, if a man is like has a very high sex drive, but he's faithful and committed, stunning, no red flags. If he is pushing you for things that you're really not okay with, you know, like things that are like for you taboo, or things that you like boundaries you have, or he's like asking for things where you just feel like this is very uncomfortable, you are allowed to say no, and you're allowed to say to him, like, this for me is uncomfortable, but I want to make you happy. I want you to feel safe and like explore these things. So how can we do it in a way that like is still okay with my boundaries? So, oh guys, thank you so much for the roses. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that one. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think, like, you know what, we all have our kinks, right? Like, and I don't talk that much about like intimacy and that, but I think I'm going to talk more about it too, because it really does matter. And girls, I have some books for you to read on this topic, by the way. I have so many books. I have gone to like a sex therapist, and I have read a lot of books about this, because a lot of women are really disconnected from their own pleasure. And I actually have a lot to teach you guys about this. Like, a lot of us have so much trauma, not because you've like been abused or anything, but just because you have not like made it safe for your body, and you have not been picky enough with your partners, and you've allowed people into your space that didn't respect you. And you carry this trauma like in your womb. And the other thing is that like your body is like this whole like magical energy magnet, so much amazing stuff happening. And with women, if you try to have sex like a man, like, you are firstly going to like fry out your very sensitive, this is so difficult to explain, but basically you need to everything you've learned about intimacy and sex, and like that it must be like quick and dirty and spicy and passionate, throw it out the window, like get rid of it. Because actually, this is gonna be so weird, but the like yoga way of doing this is to like sit cross-legged on top of each other, like heart to heart like this, and slow it down and like have it really be sensitive and intimate. And if you've never tried this before, most men are like not going to be into it, and you need to make them read a book or explain to them what you want, but it really is a much deeper connection. And yeah, I have so much to say about this, and I'm honestly probably going to make a post in the group as well and do a little video explaining that, because you can, and this is girls, like, especially if you're young, don't use like vibrators, all this stuff, because you know what, and this is like such a weird thing to say, there's a lot of women that have zero sex drive. Like, they're like 40, 50, it's dead. It's completely dead. And you know why that happens is because they have not treated this like delicate instrument. They've been so aggressive with it and impatient and like fried it. Like, it's like this very sensitive area, and you've just like blasted it with like these, like, I don't know, like blasted it, like doing stuff that you see in videos. And no. That's not actually, like, girls, by the way, like, any intimacy should start from your boobs, because like this is actually where women build. Like, you can get, okay, I have so much to teach you guys about this, but yeah. And this is also, again, why, yeah, you need to be with a man that actually loves you and actually like cares about you and wants to really connect with you. And I also think those videos ruin the perception of intimacy. Absolutely. Oh, I actually think, girls, like, if you've never been to a sex therapist, it's like such a weird thing to go to. And I think I'm going to share some worksheets and things on the group that I filled in, because it's not like I never had any like actual abuse or anything bad happen. I had like a very, very normal like upbringing, development with this stuff. And I still had like, I was, this is really personal, but I was in my last relationship, and like after being together for 3 months or something, I had zero sex drive. Like, we didn't touch for like 4 months or something, which is just because like my body didn't feel safe. And that's like some stuff that you guys can work through, because yeah. Can you make a video here on TikTok about the books you've read about that? Yes. So the one is actually, I have them on my iPad. Stay here, I'm gonna find for you quickly. Stay here. Okay, I have so many books on my iPad, guys. By the way, you know all these free sites where you can download books? I downloaded every single book. Like, okay, that's just... Oh, girls, thank you so much for letting me talk to you about all of this stuff today. It's like really been... I really feel a lot better. And you know what? Like, whatever happens, I will be okay. And whatever happens, like, I've learned from what I've been going through. And it's absolutely so scary, but I will be fine, you know? What if he says I love you during intimacy, but he hasn't said it completely before? Guys, the emotions and chemicals and stuff are going crazy. So don't always believe it, you know? It's like he can be caught up in the heat of the moment. Okay, girls, these are some of the books that you have to read. So, where is it? It's called, okay. This guy sounds so weird. You need to read Tantric Orgasm for Women. Like, this is the book you need to read. Don't be afraid. It is gonna teach you a lot about your own body. And like, actually, I don't know if this is, again, too much info, but like, if you read this, you're gonna have experiences where you're like, whoa, I did not think that was possible. And like minutes and things happening. So like, okay. It's called Tantric Orgasm for Women. This is what it looks like. Again, girls, I'll post this on I'll post this on the group after. I just want to show you the front page. But it's really, really a powerful book. And I would honestly, if you have a boyfriend, I would ask him to read this book, and I would ask him to read the one for men. This is the book. Take a little screenshot. Okay. Stunning. Stunning. No, girls, because this is also something that I need to teach you about, because nobody taught you this. Your mom didn't teach you, your friends didn't teach you, nobody taught you this. And I was really lucky. I went to, I think, one of the best sex therapists in the whole world, like one of the best. He was incredible, and he really blew my mind. And this is the one that men should read. And my boyfriend still hasn't read this now. Like, I've been trying to get him to read it, and he's like, I don't want to read that like yoga nonsense. But if he reads this, it will really help us. So this is the one men should read. And yeah, girls, like, honestly, I would say to your boyfriend, I would buy him this book, and I would say, I really want you to read this. There's some things I really want to try, and I really want you to read this. And you should read the one for women first. And it's going to teach you some things that, like, you never knew about your own body. And you know what? You need to educate yourself on this stuff now, because if you don't, if you don't, you run the risk of like being completely numb and dissatisfied and like turned off, like numb, like switched off from the belly button down by the time you're 40 or by the time you're 50. And like the thing is, you are so sensitive, have such a huge capacity for like different sensations and feels. Men who are packing don't need yoga nonsense. Like, that's so toxic. You have no idea what you're talking about. One of the exercises... Okay, guys, this is, like, very, very, like, too much info. But one of the exercises in this is, like, that you actually start when he's soft and, like, you go... Okay, I don't know, this maybe too... Maybe I'm going to save this for a group call. I'm going to save this for a group call on the group, and I'm just going to go teach you guys some lessons from this book. Because it's actually too much for TikTok. And it's definitely a girls-only space. I'm not going to talk about this in front of men. I'm not going to talk about this in front of men, some of the exercises and things, because it's a very intimate stuff. But girls, please read this book. Please read it, because your body is so sensitive, and you probably don't realize that the things you are programmed and taught that are normal are actually hurting you. And the same with men, like the porn addiction and all this stuff. They are also like, they are just getting issues from it. It's not like, yeah, tantric. Okay, guys. Okay, this week I'll do a little lesson on like tantric stuff. And you know, I'll put the book there as well for you. Guys, I'll post the book on the group. I have the PDF downloaded, so I'll post it on the group for you. Because yeah, guys, you definitely need to read this book. I honestly think if there's something you want to do, like going into the new year, I think getting in touch with your body, and guys, like, sex is not a dirty word. It's like not a dirty thing, and it's honestly like should be the foundation of your relationship. Like, it should be where you are so intimate and connected, and like where all the nonsense goes away, and like where you really feel in love. And here's another thing is that everyone loses passion, and everyone's intimacy dies after a couple months. Like, everyone. So don't think that you can just like never talk about your sex life, never read anything, never work on it, and it's just magically all gonna be so good. Like, don't think that that's how it's gonna work, because honestly, like, it's complicated, and like a lot of people have a lot of issues with it, and like it's a very difficult thing to talk about. And like the worst time, guys, like if you had a bad sexual experience or like you were disappointed, the worst time to talk about it is like immediately after, and be lying in bed and be like, actually that sucked, or like that was uncomfortable, I didn't like that. Because no. Did you watch Sex and the City? I have watched it. I get the complete cringe. Anything Carrie does, I want to scream. So how do we reignite it when the spark goes away? You need to kind of like release some of the pressure and expectations and stuff you have on the other person. And again, like a lot of the time it's your own insecurities and your own like nervousness. I think if you are passive and not present, then it's not going to be good, you know? And if you are disassociating, like girls, a lot of you close your eyes. Like if you are closing your eyes and like kind of leaving your body, something's wrong, you know? So like you need to have your eyes open and be making eye contact and like be like connecting with the person that you're with. You cannot just be like eyes, like I'm not here, you know? And I used to always keep my eyes closed. Okay, but guys, this is again like maybe too intimate for TikTok. So I will save this topic for a group call. Maybe this weekend. Actually, or maybe I'll just pre-record it and post it for you guys, because I think, yeah. Maybe this is better if it's a pre-recorded one, because I think as well this is like people are very uncomfortable talking about this, and I'm not uncomfortable talking about it, because I honestly, again, have learned so much with this stuff, so much. Sometimes I'm like terrified, you know. I think we choose partners, you know, I think we choose partners that trigger us, and we intentionally choose partners that like we know we have something like you don't realize, but like one of the things that makes you really attracted to someone and like really feel chemistry is just that they trigger something inside you. And no, it's nice to hear this experience. Okay. We'll keep it a call. We'll keep it a call then. We'll keep it a call. I just lost my train of thought there. What was I saying? Oh, we often choose partners that like really trigger something inside us, and that's why I think relationships are such a good place to learn about yourself. What website do you use? I'd love to join your group, but I can't really afford it. I normally use Zlib to download books, but they've cracked down a lot lately, and like I don't know if you can join if you don't have an account, but Zlib or like zlib.org, all that stuff. Okay, girls, we'll do some calls about like tantra and intimacy and like intimacy issues and intimacy in a relationship versus like, and how to keep the spark alive, and what to do if like things are just not going well, or you like feeling awkward and shy. Because again, girls, like, you're not alone in any of this stuff. You're not alone, and you are not supposed to know what to do, and you're not supposed to already have everything figured out. Like, you're not supposed to know that. And the difference between men and women is like sometimes it is hard to talk to men, and sometimes men just don't talk about things, and like you can both be aware that there's an issue, but men just don't want to talk about it. And that's like with all parts of the relationship. So again, like check in with your boyfriends, say like, hey, you know, like, hey, I just want to ask you, like, how's the relationship going for you, and like, are there any areas where like we can improve things, or where there's too much pressure for you, or where you need something that you're not getting. Yeah, guys, my group is only for women. But yeah, you know what, I think it's just best for me to speak to women, and I think there's like a lot of pages that are specifically for men, but for me, the people that I really connect with and I like really feel the most driven to talk to is like women, because like that's really who, like, this group is really something I wish I had, like, always. And I was really lucky that I had great friends to support me through some of the things I've gone through in my relationships, but at the end of the day, they gave me bad advice. They loved me, but they gave me bad advice because they didn't really, your friends don't care about your relationship, they care about you. And whenever something threatens you, they immediately are going to be way too harsh, or they don't have the same boundaries as you, they don't have the same standards, they just don't understand any of it. That's like the other or. And it's really hard to talk to girls that like just don't have standards about this stuff, because they're all gonna say like, you know, like I don't understand, like I don't get it. They have completely different problems. And I also think that like the dynamic between a provider and, I don't know, just like, it's just this very unique relationship, and be careful that you don't get influenced into being a bitch and a bully and abusing men and just taking and focusing so much on money that you forget about the things that actually matter. And the goal is not to have the richest man. The goal is not just to be with a man that gives you everything without asking and like does everything you ever ask. That's not the goal. Like, if that's your goal, then you're gonna get it and you're gonna realize that it's empty. Like, you're gonna be in your huge villa with all your Birkins, and you're gonna, you know, like, maybe you'll still be having fun. Like, it like doesn't sound that bad, right? But it's not gonna solve this, like, you're still gonna have like an emptiness inside you of like, what is my purpose and what am I here for, and what makes me me, where am I irreplaceable? Oh, and that's the thing, is like, I do think, you know what, like, there are lots of pages if you just want like to be a sugar baby or like to have lots of men taking care of you. There are lots of pages for that stuff. And if that's what you want, my page is probably not for you, because I really am going in the opposite direction. So I definitely, like, I'm so traditional. I really believe that the man should be the provider, but I'm really learning a lot about how to actually be grateful and appreciate and give someone support, because I don't think women are taught how to actually support a man. I've never really been taught how to give a man support. You know, I'm like, well, my support is like, you're amazing. You know, like, what else am I supposed to say? No, support is actually really believing in someone, not comparing them to anyone else, being patient with them, being forgiving, being kind. Like, that's what support is. Support is really making them feel unconditional love. That's actually support. And like, even the strongest man is still gonna have moments of weakness. And I think this is also the really scary thing of like, you still need to have something of your own, girls. Like, I know you still need to have something of your own. It's not about making that much money. It's not about like impressing anyone. It's just about giving yourself meaning and direction. Like, yes. Thank you so, and girls, like, thank you so much, all of you that gave feedback in the group. Like, I really took your feedback. Thank you so much. I haven't responded to you all yet because you guys wrote me such nice long messages. But I've taken your feedback, and there's going to be lots more like relationship focused content in the group as well. And I just did one on how to get a man to marry you, and I'm gonna do lots more like that. And I'm gonna do, I think, a whole series of like actually how to be a good girlfriend, like how to show love, how to show support, what toxic things that served you single are not the things that serve you in a relationship. And it's really, really difficult to transition, because you feel like you're being pathetic, you feel like you're losing yourself, you feel like you're being weak if you don't have those same, like, the same energy that you did when you were single. But you need to let that go for him to feel safe. So my boyfriend got 6 of my favorite candles that are being discontinued. How can I show gratitude besides thank you? Ooh, okay. So some things I actually thought about recently is you can surprise visit him. Like, you can surprise visit him and, like, I don't know, like, get someone to let you into his apartment and, like, cook him something. So, like take action. You, like, go surprise him. You could, like, book a weekend away for you guys or something. So there's, like, some sweet things like that. I think, like, doing a big gesture, like, or buying him something stupid that you know he would love. Like, buy him something stupid you know he would love. Like, I'm gonna show you guys my boyfriend. Look what I just got for him. These are so completely stupid. It's like these Gucci sweatpants, but, like, he really wanted them, so it's just so funny. Like, just honestly do something stupid like that. Sweet back. And, like, yes, thank yous. Yes, give him a call. Yes. Like, yes, definitely, like, just make him feel like he is your best option. Like, treat him like he's your best option, he's the one you really want to be with. I think that's, like, what it means to actually be supportive, is make him feel total provider, needs to be ambitious, confident, like, he needs to be driven, have his own life, have his own, like, amazing social circle, good status, like, needs to have a home, needs to have everything. So I got the mushroom coffee you recommended. He said he doesn't remember the last time he got a gift. Oh, bless. Absolutely bless. He was so blown over from just coffee, lol. Like, exactly, guys, the bar is so low. The bar is so low with, like, giving back to men. Can we start a book club? Yes, we can start a book club, guys. Like, honestly, anything you want in the group, like, we can make it happen. So I just, you know, like, sometimes I was just like, do you guys want more calls? Do you want more courses? Do you want more one-on-one? Do you want more group stuff? I think this month has been a lot of one-on-ones, so maybe next month we can try more, like, group, like, a lot more group stuff and a lot more, like, group challenges and things. But I'm just aware that this is, like, a crazy period for most people. Like, this is, like, a crazy exam season, or, like, families. Like, this is just hectic, crazy times. Crazy times. So I swear he's been giving me daily packages since. So cute, girl. So cute. And I think this is the thing. Like, anything a man spends on you, spend, like, 20% back on him. Like, he will die. He will die. He will think it is. And don't just, like, buy him stupid stuff. Like, really think, what can I do that's going to improve his daily? So, like, this is the thing, the mushroom coffee, it's going to improve his focus. Like, these stupid sweatpants, like, he's going to put them on and sit and work and, like, feel like a boss, you know? Like, get him stuff that he's just going to use in his daily life and he's going to enjoy. What am I going to get for my boyfriend for Christmas? I'm going to get him a DJ deck. He's been talking about it for months, but he hasn't bought it for himself, so I'm gonna get him a DJ deck so he can just, like, do something creative and, like, sit and DJ. And it's, like, something stupid he's not gonna buy for himself, but I'll get it for him. Yeah, girls, and, like, do surprise gifts, don't only do Christmas. And I just think the mushroom coffee is such a good one. I had to learn not to think about me. Girls, like, don't even feel bad for this, though, because I think we act that way because we used to give too much. Like, if you are so me focused now, it's probably because you were used or you felt like you didn't get what you deserved in the past. So remember, like, it is honestly a huge step just to reflect and say, like, am I actually being a kind person? Like, I know I'm a good person, but how am I acting in this relationship? Do you know how much the mushroom coffee costs? It's about $50 if it's the US, if it's the, what's it called? The super shrooms. But I have a 20% discount code. I have a discount code for you guys. That's 20% off. But what mushroom coffee? So Four Sigmatic you can get in the US. Super Shrooms is the one I'm drinking at the moment that I really like. It's a bit like, get the coffee flavor. The other flavors taste horrible. Like, they actually taste really, really, really gross. Just get the coffee flavor. Just get the coffee flavor. Yeah. But I'm gonna post, yeah. I just feel like I'm gonna be a lot kinder and more humble going forwards. And I think, like, I'm not so focused just on how much I can get and how quickly I can get it, because honestly, if I wanted to be in a yacht with Birkins and my own villa, like, I could be there right now. But I don't want to be with that kind of man. Fully honestly, like, I've never met a man that offered me that stuff that I wanted to be with him if that stuff wasn't there. You know, like, I have never met a guy, the guys that have offered me things like that, I haven't actually, like, connected with them. So it's not because that stuff is inherently bad or there's something wrong with it, but I really care about the character of the person I'm with. And yes, he's got to be a provider. Like, yes, he's got to make me feel safe. That is a standard of mine. That's not going anywhere. But in return, I think I'm going to start being if you are so worried about how you look, you know, and like, you're probably gorgeous. Like, you probably look gorgeous. But yeah. Okay, girls, I think that's it. Oh, I think that's it. I'm going to post this recording on the group. Thank you so much for watching. And like, I'm so happy to be able to share this stuff with you guys. It's really, really important for me. And I really hope that, girls, if there's any of you watching, I really hope that you appreciate your boyfriends. Appreciate them for what they do for you. Check in with the relationship. Check in with, like, he's not gonna stop giving you things just because you say, hey, like, is this okay for you? Like, is it too much? Like, does it make you feel good? He's not gonna hate you. He's gonna be blown away. He's gonna be blown away that you have the humility and, like, that you are kind enough to check in with him and not just take. Because being a taker and just, like, taking things from someone else, no. Like, if someone gives you things, you take it and you, like, appreciate it graciously, but you don't just, like, keep taking and keep pushing. And please remember, men are not going to admit to you things. Like, men are not going to tell you when something's too much. They're not going to tell you when they're going through financial struggles. Like, they do not want to tell you. It's humiliating for him. He's not going to tell you. He is just going to, like, be distant, be stressed, and there's going to be something funky going on that you're not going to understand. So check in with him regularly, often. Ask him how he's doing. Ask him how he's feeling. Ask him how the relationship dynamic is working for him. Like, ask him if there's support or something else that he needs from you. And then actually do it. So, okay, that's from Big Sister Rebecca today. That's what I had to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to watch this and if you want to see the courses and you just want to have a taste of everything else that I teach and book a one-on-one call with me, the link is in my bio. There's a free trial. I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful that you give me this platform, and thank you so much for all your support. You guys really are the best. You guys really are the best. So have a great weekend, have a great week, like, work on yourself these next few weeks, do some journaling, and survive the next 5 days of crazy, like, astrological turmoil. Just hang in there, okay? Just hang in there. Don't make any big decisions for the next 5 days. Like, just survive for the next 5 days, girls. Like, you got this. Okay, you got this. Like, my fingers are crossed for you. You're gonna be okay. And honestly, you can go join my group, get your free trial, and for the next 5 days, you can, like, watch these lives, just to give yourself a little pep talk. And, like, honestly, we are all going through it. I'm going through it. I'm really going. Like, you know what? No one has got it all figured out. People have got certain things figured out, but no one has got everything, like, in order all the time. So just remember, your life is, yeah. Oh, okay, girls, that's it. Love you. Thank you again. I feel a million times better than I did when I started this call. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love this. It's your time now, healers of the world. Like, you know what? This is so cheesy, but I do think the healers of the world. And I think that like, if you have a positive impact on just like 5 people around you, especially the man that you're with. If you like build him up and encourage him and he becomes a better man and like does something better in the world because of you, that's gorgeous. And you should also have something that you do yourself that makes the world a better place. And I don't care, you don't have to start a charity. You can literally just like be kind to one person and work on one thing you care about. Like just one thing. Just do one thing every day that's not for you, you know, that's really for other people. Okay,